Hi guys, back again, this time with a storage solution. I was recently going through my drawers to find some bling and it was a mess, and it really frustrated me, so I thought I've got to do something about this. So I decided to make a box for them. However, it turned into having to make two boxes. So what I'm doing now is just cutting prepping the hinges for the base of the box. Now the base of the box is 6 inches square, and I wanted I didn't want it any bigger, so I decided to put the hinges on the inside where the pieces join rather than on the outside. So because it's going to have a lid, so I wanted it to be exactly 6 inches. So I've cut all the hinges and prepped them. I've mitered all the base pieces and mitered one end of each of the 4 side hinges. So I'm just showing you how I put them all together. This is my go-to method for building boxes. However, the lid is a different take than I normally do. I have done it before, but I really wanted to make it easier to lift off and give the stuff inside some room, so to give me more space rather than I didn't want the base of the box to be too high, because some of the bling, the cases that they're in, don't sit too high in the box. So I wanted to be able to see them all. So this way I thought I could add the height to the lid, and you'll know what I mean when we get to it. So that was my thinking on this. And I could have maybe used this box for something else and made a larger box, but when I'm using bling on a project, usually a card, I'll either use the rhinestones or I'll use the half-back pearls, so they didn't have to be together. And the way I stored them before was on a ring clip for most of them, and the others just sitting in the drawer. So it just, and they all separated, and then they got together and bling against half-back pearls, and I thought, no, I've got to do something about it. So, and I am an organizer, so I thought, well, this was the best way to go about it. So I've done the base of the box, and now I wanted to cover it. But I didn't want to have to cover all the edges. Well, the top edges at least. So I decided to have a grunge sort of look. And so just bringing out my Distress Oxide inks. Well, I think I used the Distress Oxide inks because my Distress inks need re-inking, or I need new pads for them. So I'm just making sure I'm cutting each of these to size. I don't want them right up against each other. I want them with a little bit of space around the base there, just to give the sides room to be sat in there. So this is a KaiserCraft 12 by 12 pad that I have used a lot. I have a few of them, and it's great for vintage items. So now what I'm doing is I am cutting the side pieces, and even though I've hinged the inside pieces, I felt that they needed to be also hinged on the outside, but in a way that I utilised the paper rather than adding more thickness to it. So I'm inking up the edges now of the box, and I will cover the corners, the side areas, and all of it, but reinforce those joins on the side pieces with the paper and glue and tape. So that's how I'm going to cover this. So I just ink up the top edge of these pieces because you're not going to see the joins or the underneath pieces. So, and I like to ink them up, and then I like to usually put the tape on first and then ink it. That way the tape stuck to the paper before the ink gets put on it, so that once you put the ink on, the paper is sort of damp and the tape won't stick to it as good. So I was just a bit too eager there. So I'm reinforcing those corner edges with the tape, and I probably should have put some glue in the where they join. Yeah, I run out of tape. Perfect timing. And I think I did that on the others. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's a good idea to actually put the tape all around your paper pieces and your box now, because it's going to be a bit awkward to do it once it's attached. So that's my thinking there. And I didn't put any tape on the top of the edges there because it's on the paper piece. Oh, I do put some glue in the corners, do I? No, I decided to put the glue on the to cover up the area there was no glue, like no tape. I did. Good girl, Jen. Yep, that just reinforces those edges. So now I just line this piece up to the top, and I don't take the tape backing off the base of it. That will come later. And I thought this way, if I put the paper, because they're 12 inches, so this is a 6x6, and because it's going around the edges, it's not going to be exactly 24 inches in total. It's going to be a bit more, so I had to have 3 pieces to do this. But you can see how the edge pieces there in the corners are being reinforced by that covering. And yeah, what I was getting to was with the starting it where I have no joins on that front section, I'll use that as the front. And I'm going to do, I think the joins, well, this is going to go over the sides, I think. Otherwise, I'm going to have 2 areas where I had to cover each side with the paper. And I still could have done that, but at least the front is clear with no joins. And that's basically, but I mean, it's a 6x6, so who knows? I'll put it down on the shelf or on the bench or whatever, and who knows what the front's going to be facing. So and you'll notice that I still have the tape on the base of each of these pieces, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm just going to cut that third piece down to cover that area there. Now, I didn't know how much tape I was going to use, how much paper I needed to use, so I'm just, yeah, taping it up now and inking it. And didn't wait, but there we go. All right. So now we're going to roll this over the base of the piece. And how I do that is I go in with some scissors and cut down at an angle towards the center, but not have them meet at the center, thereby removing a wedge. So I'm just going to have a little flap there so that this can roll over and cover that edge there, if you know what I mean. So I'll show you here. I'll just go on an angle both sides, but I won't cut to the center that creates that wedge to come out. So it's going to stay there, and then I'll just roll them over and then reinforce them with the edge pieces. So you'll see what I mean in a second. So here we go. We're going to put some glue, because remember I've only got glue or tape on the ends of those little triangle wedge pieces. So just bring them over there very carefully so I don't tear it. And now the side edges are going to be rolled over and covering those pieces, so you won't see any raw chipboard pieces showing. Then I just cut a piece to cover the base, and that's done. That's how simply and quickly it came together. So now all it is a matter of just choosing the paper I want to put to cover the inside with, and ink them up and attach them, and that's it. That's done for the base then. And instead of using my Aleene's tacky glue, I decided to just use a glue stick to completely cover that. And just removing all the tape, adding the glue stick, and then now what I did with the lid, which I think is a handy tip, is I cut all the pieces 6 by 3 inches, and then I tested each piece one at a time. So the first one I cut down to the right size, and I marked it 1, and I marked the 1 on the inside of the box where it was going to cover, and then I did the 2 and the 3 and the 4, and that way you're going to get the right pieces to fit the right. That's not going to be exact all around, no matter how you try. So now this is where the lid section comes in. So I'm actually going to just glue these pieces together. They're only 1/2 inch strips by the 6 inches. And just gluing them together with Aleene's tacky glue, letting them set aside to dry. And this is very handy where your scraps of chipboard come in handy. So now we're going to cover those, and I'm going to cover them in the same patterned paper that I used for the outside, and I put tape on both sides of it. If you have 3/8 inch tape, that would be even better. I mean, 1/2 inch would have done, but it's still met in the middle there where I'm going to roll it over onto, but apart from that I am still going to add glue to it, just to ensure that it stays shut. So just along the edges there. So when I roll it over, it is going to touch that tape just slightly, but not completely, and that's okay because I'm going to glue this side down to the outside of the sides of each of the sides of the box. And if there's any chipboard showing, you're not going to see it because it's all the edges are covered, and we're just going to attach that down. So I think I come down about 1 inch from the top of the box, so therefore the lid's going to sit on top of that, and that allows more room inside the box for the contents. So I just marked the 1 inch mark there and just going slightly over it so you don't see those marks. And then I glue that down and then I just continue it round. I'll probably measure the end of the next piece because, you know, and then from there on it's pretty easy. They should just match up. Yeah, lost my lid there. I don't know how many times I lost it during this process. But I'm almost empty of glue in there, and so I need to have it sitting upside down like that. So I'm just double checking that I've got the 2 inches on the end that it needs to be even. And you can, if you want, put some clips on that. I do eventually do that. So here's the last piece I'm going to be gluing down. You can see I've got, well, I think I've got the 3 of them down. I know I've got 2. There, and there they go there, and it's on. And there it is. So then I do the lid. Now the lid I've made 3/8 of an inch longer on each side. In the second one I did 1/4 of an inch extra on all sides, so 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 by, you know. So, and that was just enough. So if you want a bit of wiggle room, 6 3/8 inches. If not, 6 1/4 is fine. So I'm just continuing on with this lid. I'm covering the base there. And that's done. And so now I am ready to populate. And so I'm just showing the different sorts of packets of bling that I have and how I just cut those down so that they're going to fit inside the box. And that's okay because I don't usually, so you'll see with this one, it's one piece and it won't fit in there and I didn't want to cut it. I could have, but I didn't feel that I needed to. And I don't usually use the designs that they come in, I just use the bling. But anyway, it's there for an option if I want to down the track. So just cutting them and sorting them out now. Yep, still cutting them down, still finding them. I'll still find more later on as well. It's very, it's a good feeling to get rid of all this crap. Alright, I populated it. That's just got the rhinestones and the, yeah, all the rhinestones, the black, the clear and the coloured. And then this is hopefully going to sit on there like that. That's what those side bits are for, to sit it on top so it doesn't squash anything in there. And it's nice and neat. And it gives it a bit more height. Okay. One down, one to go. Alright, time to, if I can find what I did with them. Okay, so I separated them. Well, 2 of them. I'm going to make one with you guys. But I used the 5 by 8 inch ruled index cards and the Stampin' Up round label punch die. So that's what it is there. I've yet to ink it up, so let's do that now. Now I'm taking these cards and I'm covering them with the same, well, from the paper from the KaiserCraft pad that I used for the outside and inside of the boxes. So just to give it a bit more sturdiness as well. And did I ink the edges? I should have. Using the Stampin' Up round punch label to attach some tabs. And I used the white for the clear, the black for the black, and the red for the colour. Yep, inked it up. Just a process. And I only used 3 dividers in this. In both of them, actually. So that's it there. You can see at a glance there the clear. It goes through them. I don't want the big ones right at the beginning, so I'll put those at the end. Now what I might do, because these are very loosely sitting in here, I might attach them to a piece of cardstock. So I'll show you that once I've finished the other one. Oh, just to show you, sits on there nicely. Alright, so I shall be back. Alright, I thought I'd just show you anyway. So I'm going to take one of the clear ones here and just put some glue on that tape, that plastic backing. Just some tape runner there. And then I can just put that in there like that, and then do the same for a couple of others. Let's just do 2 on that one. Let's go down this way with this one. Okay. So you can see there at a glance, and there. I'm going to cut some more to do those. It's just a process, it really is. I put the tape on the actual back of the plastic there, but I end up just putting it on the card. Makes it easier then. And it would be best, I did for the pearls, I used the removable tape runner. I don't know whether this is permanent or removable, but that's okay. I can rip it up and make another divider if I needed to, or just let it go. It's no biggie. They're just there to secure them. And you might note that when I upended the box to show you how the lid sits on it, nothing fell out of place. So that's handy with these, attaching these little sections onto cardstock. So they're more prone not to fall out. So yeah, just a process, going through and doing that. And any of the larger ones that I don't want to, the actual designer ones that I don't want to pull apart, rip apart, then I'll just put them aside in a drawer, and there's not that many of them that I get flustered when I'm looking for them. So next storage item, craft organisation, I think is going to be die cuts. Not the actual dies themselves, but the pieces you cut out. So hang in there for that one. I don't know when it'll be out, hopefully soon. All right. Now I think I'm done with the rhinestones. All right. I'll be back. Well, I might just put some photos in of the half-back pearls. You don't need to see this process the same again, so it'll just be in different colours. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.